All right, guys, we are live. Welcome. My name is Taylor Niebel. I am part of a new music project called Spruce Smiles, and it is a project focused at raising mental health awareness and raising funds for mental health charities here in Houston. This is our last live stream of the month. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. These live streams are really meant for entertainment purposes to let you know about the fundraiser that we're running this month. I will put that here in the chat in a little bit. I also have a video that I'm going to show in a little bit that kind of explains a little bit more about what exactly our mission is, what we're trying to do, how we're going to accomplish it, and tell you a little bit more about the fundraiser. But before we do that, I want to let you know today we have a very special treat. We are doing a totally original and not a ripoff of a very well-known YouTube series. It's going to be called Spicy Twos. We're going to eat increasingly hot sauces as we ask questions for each other. That's going to be fun. But before we go through any of that, I am very, very glad to welcome you guys to the show today. We have Mark Benavidez here with me, and we got John Paddie zooming in from Virginia. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Yeah.
What's up? What's up, y'all? Everyone.
What's up, y'all?
Before we jump into the fundraiser video and show that to you guys, I want to do something a little fun here. I want to give each of you guys 60 seconds to give me kind of a rapid fire answer on who you are and what you want the audience to know. And whatever that may be, whatever you're going through now, maybe your musical accomplishments,
Sure.
maybe schooling, whatever you want to do, you got 60 seconds to tell everybody about you and who you are and what you represent. What's your brand? John, you're going to get the benefit because I'm going to make Mark go first, so you have a little bit of time to think. So Mark.
Do good, Mark.
60 seconds, go.
All right, I'm Mark Benavidez. I was formerly of the band Rogues Among Us. I used to be, or I would still sing, lead singer with them. I've been working in the live event industry now for a little while. Past few years, going to different festivals and working on the different sides of it, production, and now side operations and stuff. And that's about all you can really know about me.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
Well, you have about another 30 seconds.
You see, that's another 30 seconds. There's so much more to say.
Actually put a time to it?
Yeah, I did. I've been watching my second hand on my digital watch.
And I think by the time that I finish this sentence, there's a good chance that 30 seconds
will have turned into 15 right now.
15. But by that point,
you don't have to use all the time.
I'm going to use all the time,
okay,
just because I think it's
you got
good
it.
for me
It's
to use
yours.
the time. Other than that, that's about it.
Okay, Mark's whole life and brand in 30 seconds plus 30 seconds of jibber jabber. John, you have 60 seconds starting now.
60 seconds. What's up? My name's John. Are these headphones have my birds on them? Yeah, I have a brand of pretty much everything I do is ornith. Something it's got to do with birds. I dig birds. So I was in a band. I mean, I've been in lots of bands. I was in a band called Zero Detail with Taylor, and then I was in Rogues Among Us briefly before COVID happened and shut the world down. I play drums, I sing, I write, I teach. I'm pretty full in on the music thing. So I also drive for Lyft and deliver food for Uber Eats. And I have two Twitch channels, Ornith Music and Ornith Gaming, where you can find on this here platform.
Awesome. We're going to share those in the chat here later on.
Yep.
John, that's the end of the 60 seconds.
There
Good
you
job. Thank you for playing along with me. That was kind of a bit of a surprise. Oh yeah, I gave Mark a job.
Okay.
I said, "Hey Mark, do you want to run a random soundboard as we go through the stream?" And he said, "Yeah."
Sure.
So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow.
All right. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and switch here to our fundraiser video that's going to explain a little bit more about the Spruce Smiles project, the fundraiser that we're running this month. This is the last week. I have a feeling we'll extend it. We have gotten to $800, which is amazing. That's awesome. Our goal is 5,000, but if we can get to 1,000, I'm so happy right now at 800. But 1,000 would be fantastic. So I'm gonna show that fundraiser video to you, and we will be back in about 3 minutes. We want to thank you so much for taking the time to stop by this page to learn more about us and our fundraiser. My name is Taylor, this is Bradley, and together we've created a new music project called Spruce Smiles. The mission of our project is simple. We want to promote mental health awareness and raise funds for mental health charities.
To keep it short, we aim to accomplish our mission by 1. Writing music with related content, and 2. Hosting various fundraising opportunities throughout the year. Research shows that 1 in 5 U.S. adults will have a diagnosable mental health condition within any given year. It also shows that 46% of Americans will meet the criteria for a diagnosable mental health condition at some point in their lifetime.
The odds are that if you haven't experienced mental illness, then someone close to you has. Just like many of you, we either live with mental illnesses ourselves or we have loved ones that do. We are doing this because it is deeply personal to us and we want to make a difference no matter how small it may be. The hope is that by writing music about mental health, it will make it more prevalent in the mainstream and in turn will help remove the stigma surrounding it. It's important that these types of discussions become easier to approach in our personal lives and that people feel free to open up without societal judgment.
Far too often do people feel alone or too afraid to ask for help because of the stigma that our society has placed on mental illness. Far too often do people lack the support structure or resources required to obtain the help that they need. We want to do something about that, and that's where you can help, by donating to this fundraiser.
It is important to know that we are not experts. We are not part of a larger organization with dedicated staff. We are just two people learning about this subject each and every day. Because of this, we choose to help by donating money to these organizations with the experts and the means to implement solutions directly into our community. That's why we have selected the Greater Houston National Alliance on Mental Health as the recipients for this fundraiser. They provide free education programs, peer-facilitated support groups, and grassroots advocacy initiatives to help families and individuals better understand the complexities and challenges of living with a mental illness. They also have a peer-run resource center so that the families and individuals can access and find the help that they need.
100% of the funds raised in excess of $4,000 will go directly to NAMI, and 50% of all the funds raised prior to the $4,000 mark will also go to NAMI. For example, if we raise $5,000, then we'll be donating $3,000 to NAMI. You might be wondering where the other $2,000 is going. To be entirely upfront, that portion of the money is going directly to our recording expenses. This is so that we can promote mental health awareness through our music. Unfortunately, recording quality music is expensive, and that's what it costs to record the 6 songs that we have planned. We're not pocketing any of the money raised, and while we would like to give all the money raised here to charity, we also believe that we have an opportunity to make a difference with our music as well.
We ask that if you have the means to share and the willingness to share, that you please donate to this fundraiser. If you aren't able to donate at this time, that's also okay too. We completely understand. You can help our cause simply by learning more about mental health. If you could even take a free education class from NAMI, that would help. You can also support us by sharing our music, mission, and even this fundraiser with others. If you want to find out more about our music and what we are up to on a day-to-day basis, please find us, Spruce Smiles, on Instagram, Facebook, and Spotify, and give us a follow. All right. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with us and paying attention and taking the time to watch that and learn a little bit more about Spruce Smiles, what we're doing in the fundraiser that we're going through. I put the link in the chat if you want to find out a little bit more, if you feel like giving. But at the very least, check out NAMI. They're doing some great things here in Houston. And if you want to just learn a little bit more, they've got free education classes, especially if you live with someone who has a mental illness. It helps you a little bit more to understand and better support them through everything. That's part of the reason why I'm involved in this with Brad. But now on to the fun portion, the entertainment portion that we have today with Spicy Twos. And I actually came up with this really cheesy intro, so I'm going to play that real quick.
Good.
So Spicy Twos, we are going to ask each other questions that correlate to a hot sauce in increasingly hot order. We have no idea what these questions are. No. Bradley is on vacation, and he wrote these questions, and we have no idea what they are. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope, Brad. And so we each have these papers that have been folded and unread with our names on them and what question that we have. And so I think, John, you start us off with number one, right? But before we answer the question, and before you read it, we're going to eat the first one.
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 Nice. All right. Let's go with one.
Oh, jeez. Number one.
Okay. I'm actually curious if this will, here, just real briefly. I
Oh,
have
yeah.
these adorable little sauce containers
Yeah,
that
show
I'm
us.
going to vaguely dip pita bread into
There you go.
and eat some hot sauce with y'all. And then I will read the question as has been prescribed by
By
the director of this affair. When do we find out what kind of hot sauce it is, or like what? What it
Oh,
is that
I
we're
know
putting
what
in?
it is in my head. So this first one is a chipotle garlic hot sauce. Very mild, very good flavor. Lots of garlic, a little smoky. But on the hotness scale, it's like not even there.
It's not even there. Yeah.
Sure.
That's super tasty. Okay.
Oh, so before we keep going, none of you guys have any food allergies, right? To anything?
I think it's too late now at this point.
Well,
I
we
mean,
haven't
shellfish.
progressed. I think the only thing that we have in here, there's some of them that are like barbecue, and one of them got mango in.
Ooh.
And I know some people have like a little mango allergy sometimes, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, luckily it's all shellfish. So unless
Okay.
someone dipped crawfish in these,
I do not have a seafood hot sauce yet.
Thank God.
I dipped my pocket crawfish in yours, Mark.
Oh,
Good.
Had to. Good.
right. John,
Okay, good.
question number one.
Oh no.
Taylor, what is a spicy twos, and why do we have to do this to ourselves? Question mark.
You got all that?
So a spicy two is clearly a play on Hot Ones, which is a very popular YouTube segment. Brad and I joked a while back about wanting to do something like this because I've kind of got into growing my own peppers and making my own hot sauces, some of which are here today. And I was like, yeah, just call it spicy twos because it's hot, spicy, same thing but
no,
different.
it's-
And then 1, 2, but also your number twos are going to be spicy tomorrow.
Two.
So there's a little play on words there.
I'm not excited about that.
And
to be
why we
honest.
have to do it, Brad took a lot of joy in this and then decided that he couldn't be part of it because he didn't want to. You know, he'd be the first one crying too.
Yes, he would. No, this is the best part. And the best part is that he's not here to defend himself, so we can
At
totally
all.
say that he would be crying.
Yeah. Hey, Stevie, I see that you're joining us on Facebook. How you doing?
Stevie.
Ew,
All right.
Facebook.
All right, we got question number 2 here. Before I read it, let's go to sauce number 2. This is just
Sauce.
This is just Valencia.
Just Valencia. See, and then we
Oh,
Brad,
wow.
Brad and I use this on a day-to-day basis on our eggs and
It's good.
everything
It's
else.
delicious.
Yeah, Valencia is one of the goats, man.
Yeah.
Pure flavor.
All right, this one's for
OMG.
you, Mark.
Mm.
Mark, one of the reasons we are here is music, and we know why you enjoy. Or we know you enjoy finding new artists because you force us to listen to them.
Yes.
So, with that in mind, who is the spiciest artist you've discovered recently, and what Scoville rating would you give them, and why?
Oh, easily in the past like a year or so, Kali Uchis.
Okay.
She is absolutely the spiciest. She's been doing more and more recently with her music. She would be at least a 3 million plus.
Okay.
Scoville. I mean,
Oh.
she's
Ooh.
hot
Oh,
as
that's
hell.
that's spicier than the hottest pepper in the world
That's
right
what
now.
I'm saying.
That's
Like, she's-
that's spicy.
She is absolutely on fire. I think we're gonna see a lot of really great things coming from her soon. Most likely, I mean, other than her winning a Grammy this year with Kate Renata as like best dance song, pretty sure she's gonna win like some Latin Grammys
Okay.
coming pretty soon. She's just gonna be the next big thing.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look her up.
That's what I'm saying.
How do you spell it? I'll put it in the chat for anybody who's interested.
It's Kali.
Kali.
Last name is Uchis. Kali Uchis.
There we go.
Yeah.
That is who Mark is talking about
That's what I'm saying.
in the chat for anybody who wants to go Google or Spotify later. I know I'm going to.
Man.
All right, so I think we got question number 3 for you, Mark, which means we're moving on to sauce number 3.
Oh.
This one
excited.
is a sauce that Mark's friend made.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. There's no label. It's just it says number 38 on the cap.
I'd like to introduce this. So a buddy of mine, in one of the gigs that I worked this year, I gave him some extra beer and he was like, well, I have some hot sauce. Do you want some hot sauce? I was like, yeah. Sure. And he gave it to me. And it just says number 38 on a yellow
Yeah.
cap.
38 special.
And it's a 38 special in reality.
It's good. It's now that I'm trying it again against some of the other sauces, it's salty, but I like it. It's like salty and smoky. It's good.
Yeah.
I wonder if he has like tomatoes in there. I wonder like how fresh this is, or if it's because there's clearly vinegar there, but
Right.
I feel like there's a lot of like smoky tomato in there.
Right, a smoky and that's what I was trying to ask him. Like, what did you do? Like,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, I can't tell you, man. Sorry.
Like how good is this in my fridge? Because if it's tomatoes, not that long.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and that was the thing is
think
like, I don't think it was tomato based because I mean, we've
Yeah, it tastes like
had it for
though,
a couple weeks now.
which is
That's tasty.
great. Yeah,
All
it's
right.
real
My
good.
favorite one so far.
So I have question 3. John, you have said in the past that you have a propensity to join bands as they are fizzling out, so to speak. This is all, by the way, how it's Bradley writing this, not
Yeah,
me.
so
you know.
give shit to Brad.
Please do.
Like we always do, anyways.
Yes, you're you're an amazing addition to Zero Detail and to Rogues Among Us from our perspective. Although you may have been joking, you expressed in the past that your presence in a band directly correlates to its decline. Is this something you believe or internalize? If so, how do you deal with with those thoughts and feelings? If not, how do you keep from believing or internalizing this idea? It's really good.
Man, that is a good one. And I mean, a popular topic right now that I think is in the is coming into the normal sphere of existence, especially with how it relates to the arts, is the imposter syndrome. A very, very insultingly brief definition of at least how I view it. The imposter syndrome is that I can't possibly be good enough. If I ever do achieve anything, it is through some nefarious means, and I am not owed this. I am not worthy of the things that I have already achieved. And so the context, Bradley and I always, every time we're talking, it's like some heavy, deep stuff, and we actually have had conversations about this a lot. And do I believe it? No. Do I think it pretty often? Yes. The question was, do I kill bands? When I join bands, do they die?
Right.
I don't know. Not really. I wouldn't say that I believed that. If I thought I had as much power and gravitas as a global pandemic, I would maybe lean a little bit heavier towards that. But with Rogues having just joined, and there was no necessity. Like it was pretty clear that I think it was the right move to join the group, and we had a great time together, and it was awesome. And had the world not closed down, we would probably still be playing shows, or if it would have ended, it may have ended differently, or who knows,
Right.
So I don't know that's like my brief. That touches on imposter syndrome for me, which I absolutely have. In all aspects of my life, as a composer, as a performer, as an educator, I often am questioning, like, do I deserve to be where I'm at? So
No,
yeah,
thank you.
it's an open-ended answer, I guess,
Yeah.
to that question.
But you're right. Like it's definitely something that's been popping up more and more recently, the imposter syndrome. Because I definitely have felt those type of those thoughts as well for me, and it's scary. Like it's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to talk to yourself that way and to make you think that you're not good enough at something when you are amazingly excellent. And Stevie says it best right here. She said,
Yeah.
John, you're an excellent musician. Any band is lucky to have you. And that's very true. Like
Very true. You were an absolute pleasure to work with.
uh-huh.
You were very professional, always on time, always had your shit together, and you just jumped in and knew exactly what to do. Like it didn't matter if it was a new tune. You knew the right beat to jump in there and put it in. I know you always joke, and this may be part of your imposter syndrome as well. Oh, I just play in the pocket. That's it. But I know that you added a lot to Zero Detail when we were writing. Like for example, Weekend. That wouldn't have sounded the same if you would have just played it.
Yeah.
That was a really cool beat in
Yeah.
there.
I appreciate that. And now telling people like I'm on time and I show up and know my music, you're gonna make me lose street cred with the drummer community.
John's a normal musician. He's never on time. Sometimes he doesn't even respond to texts.
John steals shit from rehearsal spaces.
No, that's quite the opposite. He leaves stuff there
Yep.
because he's got like 7 drum kits.
I don't know where my blue one is.
What?
I don't know. The
You
only
should-
2 places I've played have been my house and one other guy's house, and it's not there. So somebody's borrowing it. I'm certain I lent it out, but
You should just do control find in your phone drums and see what pops up. Who did I talk to?
I don't need to know that works and that's actually a thing now. I'm already scared of that thing.
All right, you guys want to move to sauce 4 and question 4?
Sauce.
Let's do it. Sauce 4. All right, this one is a local Houston hot sauce.
4.
I cannot remember the name of it. Brad got it from a farmer's market that he's been working at. And they're in the booth next to him. But this is, I think it's called Headlock. And this is like their signature sauce.
Headlock signature sauce. Okay, so mine is all over the little container here, so I'm gonna have to. That's what I'm actually kind of stoked I went with the pita.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's good.
It is tasty.
That's really good.
I still think I like your friends a little bit better, but that's good.
Yeah, I just think it's great that it's not that hot.
Yeah.
It's like just the right amount of spice.
Oh, I mean,
It's
my scale's a little messed up because I've been growing hot peppers, but
right. I mean,
I would prefer a little more. Like
you
when
want
we,
a little more, yeah.
yeah.
And I had the feeling. I mean, who knows? I mean, if he's at number 38, who knows how many more he's got?
Yeah.
But I'm hoping at some point I get to grab more from him.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Oh,
hey,
for
man,
sure.
Let me hit you up. And
I'll
send you
buy
some.
some.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try and sell some of mine this year too. So
Should.
keep an eye out, folks. It's legal in Texas as long as I get my food certificate license or something. I got to go through training and pay for a course. And then I can do it at home as long as I have it on the label and I sell it personally and I don't make over $50,000 a year. Then I can sell my own hot sauces. So
You got all that?
Sounds legit.
Say it again.
I was listening.
John,
I have 4.
Sure.
yeah.
We're about to have to move to chips.
Hey, Mark, why? Oh, never mind. I'm looking at these meters wrong. I apologize.
Oh, you're looking at the
Yeah, no, we're good. I was a little confused for a
trying to
second.
figure out where I'm at.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Is it another
This
deep
one
one?
is this one is spicy.
Ooh.
I think Bradley's been watching me like bitch about everything and wrote questions that sort of pertain directly to that. But here we go. We'll call this it's not really so much of a question, it kind of is, but a position,
Okay.
a posit. Mark,
Oh God.
we both have music composition degrees from Sam Houston, but I have my graduate degree, so I'm better. What made you choose to
Look at
leave the
Brad.
academic music world to pursue your own music and Rogues Among Us? And can you tell us a little bit about your current career?
So interesting. That's a really good way that he would put it. So I did want to go to grad school at one point. I was like looking at GRE stuff, but I wanted to go in for commercial music instead. And the first thing I remember when I told Kindred that I wanted to, who was our professor at that time, it's like, I want to do commercial music, and he's like, I don't know what that is. And everyone else in the program was like, we don't know what commercial music means. Does that mean literal commercial music? And it was like, it's not that. It's just
Jingles.
yeah. And that's what everyone was like. Is it just jingles or what is it? And I wanted to go to Belmont over in Nashville because it was like the place to go to do that. And so I was like starting to look at GRE stuff. Like, do I need to do this? What do I need to do to get in? And then like some things happened in life where I was like, I got to hold on. Like I had a death in the family. And so I went to go help my sister and brother-in-law with the kids, see how things were going. And then it just kind of pushed back a little bit more and more. And it's like, you know what? Maybe it's better because then I can just write music on my own. And I wrote a couple tunes and then like got in touch with my old bandmate Robert, who was in Rogues Among Us with me. And we started doing more music together, and we ended up doing Rogues together, and that's when I started doing that instead. And I just kind of forgot about doing the graduate stuff. Just like, it's okay. I don't feel like it.
This is an off-script question, but what are your views on that decision now that Rogues isn't playing anymore?
Totally good. I think
Yeah.
I think it's for the better, because I think what I was more scared about was what am I going to do once I get through that?
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no guarantee for myself, and like I didn't know what my options really were with that type of degree. Even when we think we know, we still really don't know. And weirdly enough, when I moved back from Hawaii, I was living with Rob. I got an opportunity with a different band to go on tour with them, and it was just to drive the van for a little while, and then I ended up wiggling my way in to become their synth player, which was hilarious because they were called Vox Voces at the time, and they didn't need it, but they needed it at the same time because they always thought, oh, like synth is like too much. And it's like, hey, let me show you something.
Not if it's tasteful.
Not if it's tasteful. Not if it's tasteful. And that was the great thing, was that a lot of what they were doing is a lot of finger tapping, and so when they're doing
pad
that,
it.
yeah, that's what I was trying
Make
to
it
do.
fuller.
I was just trying to pad them and like make it fuller for them, because that was the issue that I was hearing, was like there's no like harmonic value to this.
Yeah.
Like you're losing so much, and like the bass can only do so much, and then the bass starts doing like some tapping stuff, and it's like there's nothing there to support what you're doing.
Yeah, you just need a little bit more of a continuous texture underneath it. Give a little more color,
just
a little
bit
more of
depth.
yeah, exactly.
And so that's what I was doing.
Exactly, John.
But that was the funny thing, was that happened, and I quit my job that I was at because I was like, I'm really done. I don't want to be at that job. I want to do something else. Started driving for favor when I got back, and then I saw a thing at White Oak Music Hall that they're doing a job fair. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just go try to become a bar back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw another little booth next to them called Generations AV, looking for stagehands, and I was like, oh well, I did stagehand work in college, so maybe it's the same thing, like maybe.
Yeah.
And so I told them that, and they were like, okay, yeah, we'll give you a try. And all of a sudden it worked out. And the funny part was that the reason why I wanted to go to White Oak in particular was because I was like, if I can get a job there, I could totally get our band booked. And it actually worked out.
The mindset of a musician.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I didn't say anything for 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years working there with them. I didn't say anything
The
about
long
being in a band.
con.
I was the long con, because then later on, because someone found it on their own, they're like, dude, like, you're in a band? Yeah. How'd you find out? I was like, well, you posted on your Instagram and your Facebook. I was like, oh yeah. It's like,
So it wasn't tough.
yeah. So, and that was the best part, was like, they just kind of like found it themselves and like, it's good. Oh, okay. Like, how come you don't do anything about it? And this, and it's like, oh, I didn't want to say anything, and just trying to play innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. Because then later on, they were like, hey, do you want to be on this bill? Hey, do you want to be on this bill?
Yes, let's go right now. I don't even have to ask anybody. We'll be there. We'll be there.
Oh yeah. And or like I would be in the office and I would see something on the wall. It's like that this band's coming to town. I'd be like, hey, can I try to jump on that?
Hey, we can be the opener. We can do it, guys. Let's do it.
And it happened one time. It happened one time and it worked. And
Oh yeah, what was it? We are scientists.
Thank You Scientists.
Thank You Scientists.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember like asking the guys, and like, we can get you that gig to open. I was like, really? It's like, yeah, they need a local opener. It's like,
Yes, it worked. The long con.
So like I immediately like turned around and like texted everybody. I said, I don't care what you're doing this day. You need to block it off, and you're going to take this gig.
Now.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Just do it. And that was the first time that they'd ever heard that from me. And they're like, okay, well, who is it for? I was like, it's for Thank You Scientists. And like Rob and Brad were like, what?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was like, yeah. I was like, so let's just fucking do it. Let's go. And we just went from there. But other than that, like I've kept going in the production world, and I just love being in the live events industry.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I miss live events. I did run sound for small shows in college, but I miss going to that stuff, man. I always enjoyed that stuff, and just sitting around, and I don't know, it's peaceful, it's relaxing. Like I don't know, it's like therapeutic almost for me.
It really is. Well, and that was the thing, is like I kind of got more of I get more of that adrenaline rush now from just putting on a good show. Like in comparison, where I was like stressing out to get to the show, stressing out to like make sure all my stuff's ready, and like, am I warmed up? Are the guys warmed up? Are we gonna have a good show? And like all that stuff. But now it's more of like, we're putting together the show. The show is built. Let's open the doors. Let's make sure everything goes good. Let's make sure that the crowd's having a great time. And that's where I get my happiness from now.
Yeah.
Was like, if I can sit there and watch and make sure that they're having fun, everything's good.
Yeah.
And like the biggest one was Rex Orange County, like watching him interact with this crowd, and they're just freaking the fuck out. And I was like, that's why we do it. We do this to make sure that they're happy. And that's when I just felt happy to be in the industry.
Yeah. So we got, looks like Kay Weaver on Facebook mentioning your story about Vox Vosa, saying they didn't know they needed you till they found you.
Yes.
Thanks for participating, Kay. Am I reading that right?
Yeah,
Are my
that's
eyes
Kay.
bad?
That's Kay Weaver.
Okay, it's a little far away from me. Thank you for participating in the chat. Anybody who wants to chat, we are paying attention, and we will interact with you. So whatever you want to say, throw it up there. We're going to have a portion later with questions, too. Let you come in. John, what was that?
Throw it up.
Yeah, what? All right, are you guys ready? You guys ready for sauce 5?
5.
Sauce 5. The next 3 sauces are mine.
Okay.
This is actually the least favorite of my sauces,
This is
but
your least favorite?
but Brad likes it. This is a bitter honey cilantro lime.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
That nose dough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
I dig that. I can taste lime for sure.
It's actually, when I made that one, it's I didn't realize how bitter lime rinds were, because I had made some sauces, like the next one we're about to have has orange in it. So I would ferment the orange with it, with the peppers, and I would let it ferment, and it have the orange peel and have the citrus in there. Really good. So I tried it with lime. Well, it turned out way too bitter. So I was like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? So I cut it with a little more sauce, or a little more water, made it a little more watery,
Sauce.
and honey to kind of balance out the bitterness. So it was kind of like a saved accident. It's like a saved wreck. And I'm not a huge fan. Brad likes it. He says he's had it the most out of all my sauces. But
You know, honest, I think I'm starting to sweat now. It's great.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm feeling it in the in the tums for
Yeah.
sure, sweating. But like, it's not
And the cockles.
in the cocktails.
Cockles, yeah,
But
Mark.
do you have something that you're using to help neutralize anything for you, John?
Homie, I am drinking Red Bull. This is going to be awful for me.
Oh, just wait till the last 2. It's going to be very
Awful.
uncomfortable.
Bro, I'm not excited about that last one.
That was
shouldn't be.
that dude. That's like a good salad dressing. Like you want a little
That
kick
could
on
be.
salad dressing. That
Could
that
be, yeah.
consistency is like real good.
You get a little bit of sweet, so that can work there. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Or get down on some.
Get down.
Get down.
And another one.
Oh, I have
Oh,
the next
you got-
question.
you
My
got-
bad.
Mark-
I'm sitting
Mark's
here-
got 5.
I'm sitting
and
here waiting.
another one.
Mark 5. All
Another
right.
one.
Okay, here you go. Taylor,
Okay.
what was the biggest lesson that you learned from your time in Zero Detail, and why was it that John Paddie cursed the band by joining?
Well, first off, he didn't curse by joining. He made it infinitely better and enjoyable. Biggest lesson I learned from it. As far as musical stuff goes in band, I'll keep my lesson into like the realm of being in a band and making and writing music. I think the biggest lesson I learned from my time in Zero Detail is don't put too much emphasis on the small stuff. I sweated everything. I tried to make every last little detail, like cross all the T's and dot all the I's. I paid way too much attention to everything and argued about crap that didn't even frickin' matter at all at the end of the day. So I would say biggest lesson is if you're in a band, just make the music and do what someone else wants to do, as long as it's not like a death sentence, if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, I mean, it's
Like, it would have been easier if we had one person that was just like,
doing everything.
yeah, rather than trying to
No.
be a complete democracy.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was really nice at times, but I ended up caring way too much about little things that didn't matter at all.
Well, that was the thing with Rogues. Like we all did our best to contribute together and everything like that. But the issue is that we had too many cooks in the kitchen majority of the time, and so like everyone had a different mentality of like how things should go
Exactly.
and like what direction we need to go, and everyone split off in different directions. And it can be kind of unhealthy after a while, because at some point no one's on the same page. And I feel like sometimes that was a little bit of our own demise, because sometimes you can create like really great things with that, because it's like putting a lot of different flavors together.
Right.
But the only other thing was that sometimes the flavors didn't match, and the
Yeah.
palate or like our palate ended up becoming unpalatable.
Yeah, I get that.
And it took a lot. Like sometimes we'd have to rein it in, like really, really rein it in to make that work. But like it felt like with Zero Detail, y'all were all on board with the same thing.
I mean,
But that's outside looking in. You
it,
know,
it depends on what it was. We were able to talk through most everything very well. We worked very well together, and we talked very well together. It's just, I think, for my personal opinion, I had to take a break for a couple months. Say like my head's not in the right space. I'm feeling like overwhelmed and stressed about little things, and part of that was me caring too much about little things. So it's like I never felt like I got a break after work, because I felt like the band was also work.
Right.
Even though I enjoyed it and it was like a hobby, it was like work after work, and I was like constantly working. And I was constantly worried about something and trying to put all my energy into something that honestly I didn't need to. Like if we were going to play the show on Friday, we were going to play the show on Friday. It didn't matter what covers we played. I mean, it's still going to be fun.
It's still gonna. Yeah,
People are still going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I sweated the small stuff.
Well, and it's tough because like I think a lot of people who aren't in bands don't realize that being in a band is not just playing music. It's image, it's social media,
Which I hate. I wish I could just do music.
and that's the same too. And I think a lot of us were on the same boat. And I know that for a little bit of time, like I was kind of the person who was doing everything for us. Like when we first started, I was the one who did our social media, or I was the one who like was out there talking to people and like doing things like that. But then I got overwhelmed, and I took a like the backseat on it, and the guys picked up. But then we're like, hey Mark, come on, let's get back into it. And I was like, I don't want to now. Like I'm okay with not dealing with that stress.
Yeah.
And like everyone doing it together. And then I don't know. It sucks because like I wish that's what felt like it killed, being in a band for me.
Yeah.
Was just everything else, and I didn't really want to do that.
Right.
So it's really tough.
You got the people who are making it. They got a whole team that does it for them. But the people who don't have a team, it's work, man.
Yeah.
It's work. All right. Sauce 6 time. John, you ready?
Us.
All right. This is
Sauce 6.
6.
this is my buffalo orange sauce.
Say it again.
Oh, you're
Buffalo orange.
This was the one. Okay, so right before we started, this got on my finger or got on my thumb, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a different sauce that we were eating earlier, and so now I know how hot this is about to be, and I'm not excited to put all of it in my mouth at the same
Oh,
time.
if that's hot, man, just wait till wait till the last two.
Yeah, Mark, wait till the last 2. Mark.
Wait till the last 2. Oh,
2.
What 2?
Want another one? 6.
All right, I got number 6. All right. This one's for John.
Yes.
John, your handle on Twitch and Instagram is Ornith Music. Ornithology, for anyone who does not know, is the study of birds. As a bird lover, John, can you tell me what bird I am, what bird Mark is, and explain why? That's a fun question, Brad. I actually like that.
OMG.
I mean, it's not like I haven't already thought of that and actually put together a notebook and keep it with me at all times.
If My Friends Were Birds by John Paddie.
Yeah. And then also the Please Don't Arrest Me for keeping a weird notebook like this.
I gotta
Bradley's
fix
kind
my
of a-
mustache for this answer.
Right. I think Bradley's kind of a heron.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Just for me, I mean, because outside of band rehearsal, maybe this is just me, but this is how I put it together in my brain. Like, they're kind of shaped similarly. Like, he's a elongated kind of person, and they're long birds.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't ever see them very much. It's not because It's not because they're not there. If you go
Yeah.
to any body of water,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
probably a bird standing next to it. And if I had just like gone to hang out with Bradley, but that's what I feel like to them. And they're very,
If I had
like,
went
sort
to
of
the
slow and
lake.
deliberate with everything. If I had gone to the lake, I would get to see Bradley more. But yeah, as far as like their behaviors go, all birds kind of have the same MO pretty much. They like, some of them like make nests, which I don't know. I guess Bradley makes nests. I don't know. I've seen sometimes that he sleeps on like a mattress near the corner of the room, not even in the corner, but like near the corner. So I guess that's a nest.
He doesn't even have a
and then
mattress in
they-
his new place. He just has
really?
like he has a nest of blankets that he uses. And I said, Brad, I will help you move your bed into your apartment. He goes, nah, this I can move and it's more comfortable. And I go, all right, dude. So he literally has a nest in his apartment.
Not only are you not a very nice person, you're also a slob.
Damn, man.
That's
Throwing
what he gets
shade.
for not being here, though.
Yeah, that's what he gets.
Yeah. Mark, you're a barn owl.
What?
I'm a barn.
No,
owl?
no, it's who.
A barn owl.
What?
Well, I don't know that it may not be who. Who?
Where?
What makes you think I'm a barn owl?
The face of wisdom. You have the face of wisdom. And it's when you think about stuff, and I think that's I've always thought that's a good thing. If when you're thinking, it looks like you have wisdom in your face. But when you and I would talk, you have wisdom in your face. And I trust what you're saying.
Not
Even
your
if I don't-
hands.
Even if I'm not but even if I'm not listening to what you're saying, I believe what you're saying is true. Yeah.
Aw.
You're damn
So, and I think also it might be partially the glasses too, because a lot of it is as an aesthetic thing.
Yeah,
I
totally get that.
And I feel like I don't know how long you've had those. You may have just got those for the first time today, but I feel like you've had them for a long time, and that is what influenced my decision.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't mind being a barn owl.
You are
also stay up late at night too.
You are now
Yeah.
in Alyssa Rutherford's phone as Barn Owl.
I can't tell you how terrible I feel.
Why does that make you feel terrible?
That's not how long I thought that was going to be. Good. I should be.
Do
in
me,
Alyssa's
John,
phone
do
as
me.
the
What
barn
bird am
owl.
I?
Yeah. What is he?
Toucan.
I do love Fruit Loops.
Well,
I haven't had them in
okay.
years.
Yeah. Okay. Same. Because it's just cornmeal and food coloring, but
Exactly. Yeah.
no, dude. Because I think the first like 10 times I saw you, you had a like a Hawaiian shirt on,
Yeah.
or
Okay. That
some
makes
kind
sense.
of like some kind of dad shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of what it was. I think it was Darwin's. You like,
Oh,
'cause you had just gotten
yeah.
your wireless. You had just gotten your wireless and you stepped off the stage.
Yep.
And one thing that I love about birds is when they walk, because they have wings and they still fucking walk. But so birds will kind of do the because they have the curved spine. They'll do the S neck, like walk. But when they get up to something that they can't stretch their legs, they'll flap their wings just a little bit. And you did that getting off the stage at Darwin's.
Nice.
And I laughed myself off of my seat when I was playing.
That's amazing.
Drums, as long as I hit the snare on 2 and 4, no one cared. But yeah, toucan for sure.
Okay. I remember what shirt I was wearing that day too. It was very bright. You were right. Because I have a picture in my phone somewhere. It was a silk button-up, very bright floral print. Every color in the world was on that dang shirt. I liked that shirt. My wife hated it. So I only got to wear it when I played shows.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
All right, guys.
Fun one. I fucking love birds.
Are you ready for Saw 7?
Us.
Saw 7. So we haven't really jumped scale. This one's pretty similar to the last one we ate, except this is the mango barbecue.
7.
Honestly, I thought the buffalo was going to be hotter. I don't know why it burnt the heck out of my tongue earlier. But so I'm on the right one, right? This is number 7. Oh my gosh.
Are these sorted by like estimated hotness, or did you actually measure Scovilles? Or what's going on?
No, I don't have a weight. I don't know how to measure Scovilles, but Brad and I just kind of set them all around and we tasted them and we're like, all right, we're gonna put them in order based on our averaged scale on 1 to 10.
I feel like this could be lower. Like it's not as. Or am I waiting for the kick?
This one
it's starting to rise.
is weird to me because, in my opinion, it's hotter than the other one, but it takes multiple bites to get there. It's got a very slow build.
I'm starting to feel the little ramp
So
up. Yeah.
you'll feel a little ramp up, but if you were to have a second bite or a third, you'd be like, wow, that is a lot hotter than my first bite. So maybe we flip those around. But no, that's all right.
No, it's good.
Okay.
So I think John has got 7.
Yeah, 7.
I do got the 7.
Got the 7.
What number?
What corner?
7. Sure.
Back.
Oh
Okay.
God.
It's nice.
Taylor, can you explain to us how much work went into hosting a podcast for your music, for mental health awareness, and for your NAMI fundraiser? And can you reiterate how unhelpful your absent co-host has been through this entire process?
I will say that there was a very large learning curve. We were originally Brad and I wanted to do an in-person live event, and we wanted to do it this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and we just weren't quite sure. We're like, we can't put it together that fast. We don't think, based on when we started planning, and we weren't sure about the whole COVID thing at that point because when we started planning, like vaccines were like kind of not really a thing yet. So we're like, we're not really sure what live industry is going to be like at that point. So we were talking, and Mark was in the room, and somehow live stream came up. And I was like, oh yeah, we can do one live stream event and have a couple people over do it. And no, Brad's like, no, we're going to do it every Sunday. And I just looking at Brad, I'm just like, dude, I'm going to have to figure everything out. That's so much work.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to do that? I have no idea. In my head, it was a lot harder than it actually was, but yes, there is a huge learning curve.
Yeah.
I will say, overall, more intuitive and a little easier than I had expected. Mm-hmm. But it's still an undertaking. Luckily, I had most of the equipment that I needed, and I had just happened to have bought a gaming computer.
Not too
like 2 weeks before we were going to live stream.
That's not bad though. I mean, like to be honest, I mean, you guys don't see what's over on this side that I'm looking at, but like everything is really impressive, and like you get lighting, which most people forget about the lighting.
Well, those 2 lights are John's. He actually let me borrow those.
Oh,
John,
thank
I
you,
have your
John.
lights.
But no, but still, like the way everything's set up right now that I'm seeing, like you can see, what's going on the multi streams. You can see what's like. I can see John over here. I can hear you super well. I can hear me put out stupid things.
Yeah.
Whenever it works correctly.
Casey.
If I'm going to do something, I like to do it well, and I wish I would have been able to do this a little more with more camera angles, but just to keep it simple with the zoom, because the zoom and someone calling it makes it way more difficult.
Yeah.
No.
I was like, we're just going to keep 2 frames on.
Oh no.
Nice camera shot.
Just, you can have
Say
it.
it again.
No, we've actually been using cell phones. So I've got one of Brad's old cell phones up here. Normally when Brad comes, we hook up his iPhone. I'll use mine. As I was like, man, why can't we use cell phones for this? And I did a little more research, and I was like, oh, we can if we use it like an IP cam and have some settings and apps working. And that kind of there's a OBS has an app that kind of integrates with OBS itself. So I was like, all right, sweet deal. And that made it a lot easier than I didn't know what I was going to do before I figured that out.
No, but that's I'm glad you figured it out that way,
Yeah.
because it makes more sense to do with majority of these camera phones have, or phones on the whatever,
great cameras.
they have amazing cameras, but they're underutilized majority of the time.
Yeah.
Because people like to take a lot of selfies, which has the worst camera in the front.
right.
And so it's just so strange to me that a lot of people don't use now they're starting to use them now, but I think you did a great job.
Well, thanks, man.
And you did a
Appreciate
great
it.
job. You're a great host.
And I hope everybody out there is enjoying it. I hope it's good quality for you. Hope you're enjoying yourself.
Yes.
All right, guys. Are you ready to take the plunge to sauce
8.
number 8?
8.
This is where things really start to heat up. It's a large jump.
I really,
It's a large jump.
I mean,
gonna
I don't know how to
the
feel
sauce
about
not
this.
moving?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
Oh no.
So we're gonna do questions 8 and 9 on this sauce.
8 and 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Sauce.
Which gives us a good grasshopper radio.
Thank you, Grasshopper Radio.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Guys, let's do it.
I don't.
We're gonna do it. Sauce 8.
Here we go.
That was a lot at once. Well, it's very bitter.
Mine was very floral.
Just wait. It's coming.
I hate y'all so much.
The next one's gonna suck. All right, I've got question 8. Mark. A lot of cool people have nicknames. Can you please explain your newest nickname? 2-part Park Mark.
Mark.
Are you, do you have the hiccups
have
right
the
now? Oh, just wait till the last one. Hey, that last one, by the way, you can take some of that off because it's. I think I put a little too much on.
Ooh.
I'm alive. Yeah. Do you even remember the question I asked you, or did you black out? I'm gonna take a little. I'm gonna take a little milk. I'm gonna do it.
Milk. Now with vitamin R.
Milk.
Um.
Oh.
Hiccup.
Two. Well, I can't get through it. Ooh. 2-part park mark. Because I'm a really bad parker sometimes. Which is unfortunate since I'm a professional driver at times.
I bet.
In particular, at the apartment me and Brad live at, I went to park my dad's car. Wow, it's coming out of my nose now. Went to park my dad's van. And I swung it a little too hard and got super, super close to him. So he could barely open his passenger door. I don't know why he got mad about it. Because he wasn't going through that door.
He was going through his driver door.
Exactly. And so ever since then, it's been 2-part park mark. There's another nickname.
2-part fart mark.
Which is the same thing. It's 2 parts. I, for some reason, have 2-part farts. It's weird.
Is it like hiccuping twice? Or
It's like
sneezing twice.
it's like a setup and then an explosion. It's weird.
John, how you doing over there?
Is it coming out of your nose?
Yo tengo un poquito de mocos.
Bless you.
But I do have, bless you. I do have towels.
All right, Mark. We get another 1-question reprieve before we do the real hot one. You got question 9.
I do have a question 9. I'm gonna take my time getting a question 9 though.
Take a little breather now because that next one is going to suck.
I'm hoping a lot of my too many.
Tough Gummy says too many nicknames and none of them good.
No, they are not good. Oh man.
Still taking a breather?
I'm still taking a breather.
Weird.
That was a lot, dude.
All right. I'm starting to cool down a little for me. I'm all right.
That one didn't even taste good.
No, just wait for the next one.
It was like super
It
bitter,
tasted like somebody ground up a wasp.
and they got it mad.
Yeah, Brad went to Pepper Palace to pick up some hot sauces, and I asked him for some that were like at the 800,000 Scoville mark. Well, he picked up one that's at 2 million and one that's at 6 million, supposedly, and they have capsaicin extract in them, so it's not even like fresh or flavorful. It's just like heat.
It's just I just want to make it hot.
I will kill you.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mark, if you stick around after
Word.
this, we'll have a nice whiskey tasting as celebration that we completed the challenge.
Oh, I know. That depends on if I can make it through this last one.
Yeah.
And I cut up some limes beforehand, and I
really
at
don't
this
think
point-
it's gonna help.
it's helped.
Is it really?
It's helped so far. But I've gone through a whole lime at this point. It's all stuck in my teeth, and I don't like that.
I'm sorry for all of you. This has probably been ASMR for like really bad mouth noises.
You glad I have my lav mic? Aren't you glad I have my lav mic now? Everybody can hear exactly how I'm breathing. Sound
I
awesome.
doubt it, sir.
All right.
All right, Mark, you got question
Okay,
9,
I'm
bud.
sorry. Yeah, I know.
All right, so we're not taking the last hot sauce yet, John. Just right now. Nine's a breather, and then we're gonna take the last one on question 10.
John, who was the best Rogues Among Us member, and why was it my voice? That's from Bradley.
Best
But
Rogues
he's from
Among
your-
Us.
Uh-huh. And why was it my voice?
Meaning that your answer is automatically Mark's voice
Yeah.
was the best member.
Oh, Mark's voice instead of
Yeah,
Bradley's
yeah.
voice. I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say,
So
I couldn't get Bradley to. I couldn't pay Bradley to sing.
You didn't even pay me to say that. That's the best part. You just made me say it.
Who is the best? I'm not great in like superlatives because
You to speak slowly, speak clearly, so that I can understand you.
is that Judge Judy?
Ding, ding, ding. I think
I
you
got
won.
you. I got you.
But she got whoever she's. I believe it. Man, I don't know.
Just answer this
It
question.
wasn't not Mark's voice. Wow, what a versatile soundboard for this one particular event. Just answer the question,
Just answer
John.
this question.
There wasn't a best member of Rogues Among Us. There's not a best member of any band, unless it's Keith Richards. But
Nasty, vicious.
no, I thought, okay, here's what I'll do in response to that question, because I think that everybody was like the best at something, or everybody brought something that I recognized to the table like immediately. And what came to mind when I almost like right off the bat, I was like, well, obviously it's Kevin.
Yes,
Because
100%.
he's probably the best musician. Like he's way better at his instrument than I am at mine. And I'm a decent drummer. Like I'm fine at
You're a great
drums, but
drummer.
like listening to Kevin play bass, I was like, how are you not working right now? And then he was always like, yeah, I just came from rehearsal and I have a gig after this. So he was working. Like we were his fucking lunch break. But like, I don't know, musically speaking, I think we had a varied set group of experiences. I always liked, I think Bradley was probably, with the saxophone training, and that he was like super technical. And he brought that, so I think he brought a lot of the technical side to it, sounds and setup too. But I feel like his work was in a lot of the sort of like the technical stuff that you could like tab out and write down. And Bert had like awesome sounds, and of course he's a kick-ass guitar player too. But I think they filled those roles. They they traded off some too, but the sort of environment, I feel like most of the time I felt like what Bert did sort of created a good portion of that. And so, and like, it doesn't go without saying frontmen get credit all the time for everything they do, but they should, because fronting a band is a thing. It's a very specific thing, and it takes a special kind of person to lean into that role. And I think the first time I saw y'all, I
Mark
don't
was
remember
laying
if
on
you
the ground?
broke it. Mark was definitely laying on the ground, but he had a tambourine around his head, and I can't
Yes.
remember if he broke the tambourine or if he just had one with no head.
Sure.
But I couldn't tell, and I was like, "Yo!" And he was, he had his key set up, and he had his, I think, a vocoder of some kind. And so like this like package was there. It had all of the parts, because everybody also was, well, everybody that you would expect was a showman, and Kevin hid in the shadows, but bass players do most of the time. But it was a complete experience rather, and that's what made it sort of fulfilling. So, who's the best?
Makes sense.
I think Bradley's just trying to stir up some shit after the fact, and we recognize that, and I will not give him satisfaction.
You
with
can
that.
give him a big old
See how
middle
easy
finger if
that
you like.
was? See how foolish I made you look? You see how smart I am?
That's for you, Brad.
Do you see how smart I am?
All right, guys. Now comes to the pinnacle of this event, and I
Oh, I
think
don't
it
believe
calls
a word of
for
that.
another Spicy Twos intro.
Okay.
All right, we are at the end. That is what the sauce is called. Brad explained this one to me a little bit. This one's kind of like a two-parter. John's got a question, and Mark has a prepared response. If you see this, Mark response number 11. So we are gonna take this last one together.
Oh no,
And then John's gonna ask a question, and you've got your response.
dude! I
Feel free to scrape a little bit of that off there, because most of
No.
it's soaked in now.
you know what?
I can't even-
I'm gonna go for it just because I'm gonna be a trooper.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's gonna take a while for me to respond to that. So
Here we go.
Let me find a good tip.
Good.
Ruh-roh.
Is this the one that's purported to be 6 million Scoville?
It tastes like butt.
Okay.
Tastes like spicy booty.
Say it again.
Also, if y'all haven't ever done anything like this before, wash your hands like 7 times before you touch your face.
That's why we've done everything with forks so far.
Oh, you got
Want another
forks.
one?
Yeah. Well, part of it was also because I'm going back and forth between chat and computer and stuff, so I needed it to be a little clean.
Oh,
for me.
yeah. We talked about that, and
Yeah.
I actually remember saying how great of an idea you had there.
This may seem to be a strange request.
So I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's because we hit the hardest one right before it.
It's not.
It's not even creeping up.
It hasn't crept up on me at all.
No,
It's there, but
it's definitely like tingling in the back.
I think it's creeping a little bit, but it doesn't feel the same as the last one.
Also, it did not hit my tongue. It went to
Oh.
the straight back and into down the gullet. So it didn't rest. Oh, but it's
Yeah.
coming. It's
Yeah.
starting to come. I mean,
It's the spice is now building in my throat rather than on my tongue. Oh no, here it comes. That is a slow build.
oh jeez.
Ruh-roh. All right, John. You have question. You have the last question, and then Mark's got a response.
Out. Put your hand down.
That's a heater.
I got it.
Oh, I see.
Now I got it.
Yep, that's got the calls for a little milk.
With vitamin G sharp.
No, that's not
Mark.
what I said at all.
I heard that you recently took a break from music and started up your lifelong dream of entrepreneurship. Congratulations! Your first product is no longer in the baby stages. It's been tested, but it's never been bested. Can you brag a little bit about your brand before it debuts?
Yeah. So I think this might be a fake article, like your favorite show.
Yes, I think it is, and I'm really excited to see what he's gonna say.
Oh, that's hot. Oh, it's like I guzzled some of Satan's poop. Ugh.
It's not as bad as you think it. Right?
Ugh.
I'd love to boast about my brand. I do believe we have the best briefs in the barrel, and we call them bubble bums. Bubble bums are the best briefs for your bottom. Tired of obnoxious, toxic, nauseous gases emanating from your derriere? Well, now there's a fantastic solution to your personal air pollution. Bubble Bums doesn't bitch when you gum up the works by eating brie or blue cheese with your big brunch. Change your bottoms in time for lunch. They're the best barrier to help to keep smells from getting bigger and scarier. But that's just the beginning. Bubble Bums bend your posterior until other butts are inferior. Do you like big bums? Do you also like Abraham Lincoln? Buy your brobo some Bubble Bums to keep that booty big and stop the stinking. But wait, does your girlfriend get a gassy gut? Give the gift of Bubble Bum rear plugs and never see your slumber slighted by the sound of butt thunder again. Bubble Bum's noise suppression system ensures a soundless sleep, even if your girlfriend saves her sense for when you're sound asleep. Bubble Bums. That was terrific.
Well done.
Oh, very well written.
Well done, Brad.
Well done, Brad. I hate you still, but
I'm still recovering a little bit from this heat.
that's what I was saying. Like, it was sneaking up. I mean, at first I was like, oh, that's not bad, but now it's in my ear. I hear it in my ear.
Sean, what's your status over there after last sauce?
What?
All right. I can feel where it hit my tongue.
Yeah.
Like, but
I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little
all right.
lightheaded.
A little lightheaded.
What?
I'm sweating a lot. I'm gonna
Yeah. It's weird. I
the
don't really
window,
feel
but-
it on my mouth as much. It's like I feel it right in the back of my throat.
Yeah.
Like right here.
You broke my jaw.
All right, guys. That concludes Spicy Twos. I hope it was as much fun as we thought it was gonna be. I did enjoy it. That was fun. We had some good questions. Some of those were a little deep. There was some good conversations, but the conversations are not over. We are an hour in, so if John, you have to go, or if Mark, you have to go for any reason, we want to be a little aware of your time. Thank you very much for coming. But we've got 9 people hanging out on Twitch. Guys, we're in the chat, so if you guys want to hang out, let's talk about kind of your music career, the things going on in your life that you want to promote, and we can open up the chat to any questions they want.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who's watched so far and has followed along with us. Our rate and enthusiasm for answering questions over the last 2 sauces were noticeably slowed compared to the first ones. That last sauce we had was advertised as 6 million Scovilles, which I think is more than 2 times hotter than a Carolina Reaper. So that was fun. All right. Brad's got a little rough schedule here. Let's go ahead and take a minute and play Mark's song. Mark, you sent over a song that you call Tranquil Thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's just all have a live reaction. We're going to keep us on and let's listen together. People in the chat, if you want to ask any questions of Mark about him, his career, he has been a runner for the past couple of years, correct?
Yeah.
So he's probably got some good celebrity stories, and you probably asked some good questions about musical acts that he's been runners for and things that he's got to get. So throw some stuff in the chat, and we're going to listen to Mark's song. Before we play this song, you want to give us some quick background on what we're about to listen to?
Yeah, so I wrote this a few years back. It was when I was in Hawaii. I remember I was just like vibing. I don't know what I was vibing on. I think I was listening to a lot of Washed Out at the time, and so I was like, all right, let's try to write something in the same vein and like do something different, and just wrote lyrics as quick as possible. And I'm the kind of person who's just like, whatever is your first impression, go with it for a while, and don't try to step back too much on it. Because once you overthink it, you start to get in your way. And so this was all like trying to like put things up on the fly. And it ended up coming out pretty good. I got one person that reviewed it that left me a message because it was this old like forum that they used to have where you can just post random music, like your own random stuff, and it would give you like a full scale of like a review, and they could leave comments, and they gave me like a lot of really high marks except for lyrics. And then in the comments it said, "You're the reason why people shouldn't have guns."
Dang.
So it was
Yikes.
it was a little dicey, and the thing, it was like it has nothing to do with like doing anything to anybody. It was just like a reflection of a moment, like of like a scene that I set up in my head. So I thought it was kind of cool, but this guy just thought I was straight up crazy.
He wasn't getting it, huh? Mm-mm. Okay. Let's give it a listen. We'll give live reactions here. Cool synths.
Yeah.
Okay, some
about-
weird notes. I like that. All right, I can vibe to this.
You can vibe to it, right?
Yeah, this is like real chill. Ooh, I like that little spooky note choice there. Dude, this sounds like I'm in a waiting lobby for like Rocket League or something.
Right?
Yeah.
You see, and now it makes sense, like nowadays. But back then it was like, wasn't really a genre people were like flowing with. This is more lo-fi now.
This reminds me of Pogo.
Ooh. Little vocoder on there. That's cool. Stuff Gummy says, we'll review it on here too, don't you worry.
Oh, I need her to review it.
John, I have you muted so we don't get a double on the track, just so you know right now. I think it might have been doubled. So if you were listening, guys, you may have had a little bit of more of a flanger effect than it actually has. Now it should be true sound. This is definitely something that I would have listened to, like, studied in college.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was
dig it.
Yeah.
Let me unmute John. You're good to go, John.
Yeah. So when I wrote it though, like the whole thing was just like set up like, because I was listening to the music more than anything else. Because I work backwards when it comes to lyrics. Like I listen to what's going on in the music and then think of a story that could go with it. And my story I just heard was just like imagining like this really lush forest next to like a waterfall, like super tranquil, you know, and like just kind of natural feeling, and then finding like a decomposing body for some reason. And so that's why a lot of it is talking about like just decomposition in general.
Wow.
And it was more of just like this person who like basically just let themselves go, and that was their like they had tranquil thoughts as they were passing away. And I was just, I don't know what fucking vibe I was on at the time for me to think that. And I was like, okay. So I just wrote it and it just came out that way. But I feel like it doesn't bite so hard because of the way that the vocals come out.
I mean, just like Lesser Grandstander, it doesn't bite so hard the way that it sounds. Same with Pumped Up Fish that was a huge
Yeah.
smash success, which was very quite dark.
Yeah, no, it's scary. Like Pumped Up Kicks is one of those tunes that
Did I say Pumped Up Kicks or Pumped Up Fish?
I heard fish.
You
Okay,
said
But I didn't
fish.
want to
So,
say fish. I didn't want to say
you said
that. I
fish.
was
The
gonna be like,
reason I said fish, I'm sorry, is this was I used to play trivia at Pluckers once a week with some dudes 4 or 5 years ago, and I don't even remember what happened, but someone was being stupid and just said "pumped up fish," and everybody just fake laughed at it really hard because it was so stupid, and it just become a thing. And now that's what their fantasy football league is called, is Pumped Up Fish. So I apologize. That's just been more on my head more than Pumped Up Kicks. So sorry for that little detour in that story.
That's baloney.
Baloney. That's baloney.
Baloney.
No, I enjoyed that. And Tough Gummy says, "Oh, a vibe," all caps.
Good. I'm glad she liked it. Oh, Liz, glad you dug it. But yeah, that was very much so old Mark. Like I don't even know if I could ever replicate that sound again. Mostly because I forgot how I recorded a lot of it. But it's I wish I could go back to that. If I were to like go do things solo, that would probably be the
Yeah.
train that I ride on, is to do more vibe music and not so much like rock.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everyone loves the rock stuff, but like I that wasn't always for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure as you heard in the last EP, like I wasn't trying to be so upfront and so in your face a lot of the times, and yeah, that's how I felt.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that. Is that are you doing any solo stuff? Are you pushing tracks like that? Is that available for us to listen somewhere?
I think it's on SoundCloud somewhere.
Okay.
Under my old account, I can't remember what I started calling this. Oh, Black Beanie Music. On
Black
SoundCloud.
Beanie
Okay.
Music. I remember that.
You remember that, right? Because that was like my whole vibe. Because I before Taylor knew me, mostly when John knew me, I used to wear a black beanie all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was like
Everywhere.
when you met me. But yeah, it was my thing. It was just like this one knitted black beanie that I really loved. And then I just had super long hair and no one knew because I had this stupid black beanie on all the time, and it would be hot in the summer and I would still wear it during the summer, and flannel like an idiot in Texas.
Oh, Mark.
And I just thought I was the coolest dude wearing it. So I was like, oh, I'll make my whole brand Black Beanie Music,
Yeah.
which sounds cool at the time. And then it's like, after that, I'm like, oh no, I just pigeonholed myself.
I have to wear this black beanie all the time.
I have to wear it all the time.
It's so hot.
Exactly. And so I was like, yeah, I'm never doing this again.
Oh, I think I just peaked. I apologize, guys, if I broke your ear holes. You have a Spotify artist account now. You have 2 songs under your name.
Do I have 2
zero
names?
with Zero Detail and Spruce Smiles. You have 2 songs under your. If you look up Mark Anthony
You're
Benavides or
fucking
Mark
right.
Benavides on Spotify,
I'm looking
you
it
have
up
2
right now.
songs on there. You should throw that up on Spotify with it.
Maybe I should. I mean, I've never thought about doing. You're very much so right. I'm looking it up because I forget.
So, for those of you who haven't listened to any Spruce Smiles, we have 1 song out, and Mark is one of the featured vocalists on there, and it came out fantastic. We had one person drop out in the last minute, and we were like, "Dude, we need your help." And he's like, "I got you." And we recorded his vocals in Brad's closet, and it sounds amazing.
And it was so funny because like I was like kind of hesitant at first coming on because I was like, Brad could honestly sing this, and like I heard the demo and I was like, Brad sounds great on this. Why doesn't he do it? And they're like, no, dude, we need your voice. It's like, okay, like I wanted to do it. Like I was like, I 100% want to do this, but I was also nervous getting back into it. Like I don't really know where I stand with music anymore. I have like such a weird relationship with it because I do love the production stuff, but I haven't taken the dive to just put my hands on my keyboard again.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit of hesitancy just because, now I'm doing it on my own, or like if I do it, like, is it going to be okay? Is it going to be good? Doo-doo. So I need to like just make sure I just do it.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Stop it! I will say every time that song "Lovely" comes on, when it gets to your section you're singing, Brittany just goes, "His voice is my favorite."
But that's the funny thing, and I kept putting it in the chat the other couple of times, but Attila's was my favorite, and then Giovanni's was my favorite. Like,
I know.
There was plenty of times where I was like, I wish I had Giovanni's voice.
Every person on that track, we have 3 features on that track, and they all have amazing voices. And I'm actually very surprised at how well it came out, having a 3-feature song, and it's just like one person. Yeah. And there's a little bit of blend at the end. I was surprised at how well it came out.
Me too.
But,
well, that's just
thanks
like,
for jumping
I
in, and
appreciate
good job,
that.
man.
I'm just glad that you'll let me do it.
All right, so that was Tranquil Thoughts by Mark. Let's talk a little about John now. So John, let's go ahead and we're gonna play your first song, Modern People Mover. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, so what are we about to listen to? What can you give me a little background on this before we play it?
Yeah, sure thing. Also, we can just do audio. I know I put together a video, but we can just do audio. It's fine.
I have the scene I have set up. When I click on it, it's just going to put the video in the top little right corner, so we can still look at it.
That works too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will have to mute you, unfortunately, when we play it, just so we don't get a double on the audio. Just because the last minute switch we had to do to get everything to work.
Yeah. So when the timeline is kind of important here.
Okay.
So I've always sort of played around. I've always since I started college, I've been a Mac user, so I've used GarageBand, and that is pertinent, I promise. But I've always plugged in a keyboard or had a little a MIDI controller that I use to compose with, because I do a lot of academic composing where I actually write it out and create sheet music and hand that to somebody and then they play it. That's one way to make music. I've also always done the other way, where I either learn it by ear or if I just play some nice chords or improvise. And so I've like to keep my controller and play and work around in GarageBand. And I moved to Logic Pro when I worked at Apple because it was free. Lot more powerful software. But basically when I finished my master's in December of 2019, and started seeing the world crumble. I didn't get a job right out of graduation because there were no jobs then to have, and there certainly are not now. But I sort of turned to say, okay, what can I do? One, to maybe make a little bit of money, and 2, just to sort of keep a creative outlet going. And the third thing was to sort of create a community and have a little bit of socialization, because I didn't feel safe. I saw my girlfriend and my mom, those are the people that I saw. So it was like, what can I do? So I started streaming, and I have my Twitch hat. I think you can see on the other side, you can't see it with the lighting, but I've been streaming. I started streaming music and games. And so what I would do on these streams is I would sort of improvise a little bit. I never really would sing. I would just talk about stuff, or just play some pretty chords, and a couple people joined, and it was fun. And then I figured out how to incorporate more synth sounds and more tracking, use my computer resources. So I started actually recording things and composing in real time, and then multi-tracking. And so what we're about to listen to is actually one of the latest things that I've done. I haven't streamed much music lately. I've been streaming more games lately, but what you're about to listen to is sort of an ambient composition that came out of a live stream. So I composed it completely live on stream. And I think I may have tweaked 1 or 2 things, but actually most of it is pretty much how it ended on that stream. And so it's a little bit longer, but it's completely vibe. There is some discernible melody, but that's not really what the track is for. It's not meant to sort of present a melody or an idea, but it's just sort of an aesthetic that I was going for.
Is it supposed to invoke any sort of feelings? Make people feel a certain way? Was there a certain vibe particular you were going for? Like you said, it's just an aesthetic. Was there a particular aesthetic that you were reaching for in this kind of composition?
Yeah, so the video you'll see is a graphic that my girlfriend Valerie is a talented graphic artist. She does all of my things and makes them look
Shout out Valerie.
Amazing. Yeah, Valerie's. She's. I think if Grasshopper Radio is here, that's her. She also streams. But I sent it to her. I said, "What do you think?" Because she watched it on stream and then she listened back a couple of times, and she was like, "Man, it kind of sounds. It's always moving. There's always some kind of motor. The motor changes speed a little bit, but it has this thing where like it's just like a moving like wall of stuff."
Okay.
And she's like, "What is the name of those things that are at airports where like the sidewalk moves? The people movers." They didn't get very creative with that name. And I said, "Well, yeah, actually, that's a pretty good descriptor for it. It does kind of sound like a people mover, but it's a little bit more it's spacey and modern. So modern people mover, you know.
Okay.
Try to keep it simple. But yeah, that's the vibe. Is there's always some sort of undulation or moving going on, some sort of motor.
Okay.
And I think it's kind of nice.
Cool. I'm going to we're gonna throw that up here. I've got a just a little bit of a tangent story. There is a band that I saw at Tenacious D's comedy music festival in Los Angeles called the One and Only People Mover.
Nice.
And they wear Sasquatch costumes and play music. And there was 3 of them. And then they had people in the back that were running their guitar effects. And all of their vocals are like processed, like vocoded. And so it's a 3-piece Sasquatch band called the One and Only People Mover. And there's rumors that it's brand new.
The band brand new?
That's awesome. That's amazing.
But right before we listen to this Modern People Mover by John, I'm just going to give you a quick reminder. Spruce Smiles is running a fundraiser this month for mental health awareness and local mental health charities here in Houston. I'm going to put that link back in the chat if you guys want to take a look at the link as we listen to John's Modern People Mover. Here we go. John, I'm going to put you on mute. This is like something that you would see on like those breathe apps. Where's my blanket and pillow? This is very soothing.
He's giving his.
Oh, thanks, John. Wouldn't that be cool if I just had like a pillow sitting up over here that's the same color? Like it was magic.
Liz got a question.
No, it says preguntas for Mark.
So you got a question?
But I know, but then no follow up. I think it's a little dinosaur emoji or something.
Oh, that's from Grasshopper.
Oh, Grasshopper, my bad.
Yeah.
Yes, they're clearly different.
Yeah.
John, this is nice.
This is really nice, dude.
Are there little birds in the background? Or is that just the synth that reminds me of chirps? You mind if I have a little more?
Yeah, go for it.
You can even reach it. If not, don't worry. That's fine. Thanks for sharing. Really like that.
It's very like futuristic, or like kind of like what you hear in a murder documentary.
I'm thinking like something like a cartoon set in the future, and this is like kind of a point of tension. Like they're like on a mission after something bad just happened, and they're trying to. It's almost like a montage kind of scene.
Almost a montage because
With just a little bit of tension in there.
You see, for me, it's reminding me a lot of like unsolved mysteries, like the new.
Oh, okay.
It's like, and they're
I
just
can
like
see
talking
that.
about it, and they never found her again. But she was. They called her. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
But here's that little bit of
Amazing. Ooh.
little happiness
They found
now
it.
coming in after the tension. Yeah. There's a little hopefulness and optimism there.
It shows like at the very bottom, like what it says. Well, I'm not already looking.
A little warmth now after all the cold Glock sounds. Yes, very much. Coffee cult.
I'm not ashamed, not one bit.
For those of you who have not seen or stuck with us the whole time, Mark was given the job of the soundboard, and so he's having a little fun with it now during John's music.
Some of it just can't hear.
It's pretty cool for a live composition.
I was gonna say, and that's
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to come back so we can talk about that because he was saying it was a live composition. I wonder what was going through to get there.
Ooh, what's happening? Ooh, more tension. She was found, or was she?
Or was she? Coming this summer.
The girl that was never found. Or was she?
Before you know it. You need help.
Just to be clear, that's not in John's song.
You know,
That's,
it's-
it could be though.
That's Hallmark.
It's definitely taken me on a journey.
I like this. I like it a lot.
Ends with some clock bells. Says there's another minute, but I think it may just be a taper.
Let's see. I think.
Loser, a lowlife, and worthless.
So that is the end of John's song, Modern People Mover. That was a live composition that he put together on one of his live streams he was just talking about. He just disappeared though. I think he's also moving into magic tricks because he's disappeared from the screen.
Don't kiss me.
I hear him in the back.
You're not getting real about this.
So John, since you're not there, let me ask you some no. Yeah, if any of you guys in the chat have any questions for John or Mark, please put them in there. Looked like Tough Gummy said that she may have a
Yeah,
question.
I want to know what questions he's got for me.
Yeah. John is now replaced by his soundboard. Perfect.
You send harassing emails from fake accounts.
There's another one I really want to hear just because, yeah.
Enough already with the fake boobs.
It's like, why is that
I
even on a
would walk
soundboard?
your happy ass out of here in 2 seconds.
He's very like abrasive and I love it and I hate it too.
I pray to God that you find it in your heart to forgive Peter.
So, John, how was your poop? Replaced by soundboard.
Enough already with the fake boobs.
John, you were replaced
Never.
by a soundboard.
Never enough. I didn't. I
If we
thought
get into
actually I
another
was
one of
going
these
to.
yellow
expel via esophageal excursion.
Oh, you got the spice. You
which
got
is-
the spice settling wrong.
Well, it was still in the stomach, so thankfully it didn't.
Yeah. Get some of them
But
chalky
yeah, it
tums.
was. Yeah, I need to get something. I haven't. I didn't get anything yet. I just got some water.
Follow him.
So John, now that you're back and hopefully you're feeling a little better, it'll be really interesting for all of us to check in and see how our stomachs are in the morning. But
Yeah.
so John, what got you into music? What kind of led you in this direction? What kind of put you into the career that you find yourself in now?
So my my story is really interesting. I think people, I guess, find it interesting sometimes. Like a lot of people that came from, middle-ish class or whatever. I had video games when I was a young child, and third and fourth grade, I was playing a lot of Super Mario RPG, and I was like, something is interesting about this experience, and I can't put my finger on it. I was, real young kid, and then fifth grade came around, and that was when the school district that I was in started band. So I was like, okay, something about band speaks to me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But I did band, and I think, instrument tryouts, they put a trumpet on your face and they put a clarinet next to you, and they say, which of these makes you burst into flames the least? And then they test your rhythm. Like, if I clap quarter notes, or if I clap 4 times, can you clap the same speed? Basically, is how it equated. And I guess I did decent at that. And so they took me into percussion. And I was like, okay, I don't know, whatever. And then the next year, because a lot of young folks will switch instruments between 5th and 6th grade, or their first year and their second year. They're like, okay, I did trombone, but I want to do flute now, or I did alto sax, I want to play tuba, or they'll grow into an instrument, like they start on trumpet, go to euphonium. But I was like, well, there's pretty girls in the percussion section, so I'm going to stay in percussion. That's really what it was for me. And then I got into junior high and started thinking a little bit. I learned about, I had a friend who played baritone. And so I took his baritone when I was at his place one day, and I was like, can you teach me this? And he taught me a couple things. And he's like, it's actually also the same as trumpet. It looks a little different, but the same buttons. I was like, dope. So I learned that in 7th grade. And then, so when I got to high school, I was like, whoa, like I know some about other instruments, which is not something that everyone can say. But I also started playing around with a program called Noteworthy Composer. I started writing music in 9th grade. And I was going through these like files that people put up as like, hey, I transcribed this, or hey, I wrote this. And one of them I saw was one of the themes to Super Mario RPG. And at that point, it was like, that's why I like that game. That's why I like video games. They have a good soundtrack. The gameplay can be utter garbage, and I'll still like the soundtrack. Super Mario RPG was amazing gameplay, but
Right, it was everything.
Was Super Mario RPG its own game? I've never heard of it.
It was a Super Nintendo game, and it was nothing they've ever done before, because it was both Nintendo and SquareSoft together.
Okay.
Or Square before they became
to look
SquareSoft.
into this.
It's probably one of the best, and he's not wrong. Like the soundtrack is phenomenal. It's iconic. So that's really awesome that you got something from that one.
love it. So that's what got me in music. What made me choose music as a career, though, that's a little bit more complex. When I went to college, when I first got there, I was studying journalism because I loved writing and I love photography. I still do. I still love both of those things. But my journalism professor came into our intro to journalism class or like intro to sports writing or whatever one day, like completely disheveled and was like, don't do journalism. It's going to magazines and going online. And I'm like, I'm 19. I don't know what you're talking about. I have online. I've always known that everything was online already. What are you talking about?
Right.
But then he
What the fuck does that mean?
exactly, that's what I said. But then he started talking about like how numbers were going down and print journalism, which is what I was doing, is giving way to really just marketing, because there's people that used to be hired sort of as journalists that are now completely fulfilling a marketing role, and nothing about journalism is taking place.
Just clickbait.
Yeah. So I switched to music, and I would have done music from the beginning, but I didn't know that you could major in composition. When I was getting ready to go to school, I thought you were either going to get a performance degree and play in an orchestra, which I didn't care for, or you're going to get an education degree and teach band for the rest of your life. And I didn't want to do either one of those things.
Right.
I was the people that I was in class with that were going to go be band directors, I could not stand to be around them because they thought they were so cool because I got into college for music. And then
sounded a little like that guy in the 90s. Cheese. Oh, what's that dude's name?
He's got a
Pauly Shore?
Yes, Pauly Shore. Thank you.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's
I'm so cool. No, but I switched to composition, and I didn't want to do orchestral percussion, which is what typically they teach you in academia. So I did voice because I've always wanted to learn how to sing, and I sang a lot anyway, even though I didn't have any sort of training or direction for it. But once I started my vocal lessons in college and sort of started learning all of these things, I was playing in bands. I started writing marching band music for money. And what I was looking at is like, man, okay, I have all of these experiences together where I'm not going to be pigeonholed to academia. I'm not going to be pigeonholed to be playing honky tonk bars on drum set for 6 hours every 3 days. I'm not going to be stuck doing little kids music. I'm not going to be stuck teaching private lessons to 5-year-olds because I can do all of those things. And if I want to switch, I'll just switch. And so as far as like what made me choose music as a career is when I realized, oddly enough, like that I have at least some of the skill set necessary to be a professional musician. Because that word means a lot of different things. You can be a professional musician in academia if you're teaching full time. You can be a professional musician in production if you're sitting behind a soundboard or recording engineer. Or I mean, to me, you don't have to like physically touch a musical instrument. If you're producing music, if you're creating music, that's the same thing. We think of this idea of a musician as you have to meet a certain criteria. Well, not really. Or if you do have to meet a certain criteria, it's really broad, and it should be, because music is extremely broad. The idea, what is music, is subjective,
Right.
So yeah, that when I started doing vocal lessons in college and sort of learned how many ways there were to create and enjoy music, that's when I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, because it's not mutually exclusive with other things. Video games and music go together. Martial arts and music go together. Dance and music obviously go together. It's so versatile, and I meet a lot of really neat and interesting people that I wouldn't normally meet.
For sure. Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing that. There was one more thing that you wanted to show us. Correct? Is this a marching band? What are we about to watch here?
Oh, you have Traversion up. Awesome. One of the and so right now you'll see there's clovers behind me. I'm in Virginia. I am not Dallas. So what? Rockheads and debutantes. So part of my resume, one of the one of the hats I wear somewhat frequently as an educator is I get to work with this awesome program in Virginia. Um, a sort of a random chance brought me over here the first time,
Yeah.
but the kids are amazing, and the head director at whose crib I'm at right now is one of the most thoughtful and dedicated, not even educators, just people ever. People. She's got my big ass in her house, like letting me eat her food, and
Nice.
she and her husband are extremely gracious, and I would be lost in life without them. They often remind me that there is
Give them a
goodness in
round
the
of
world, and there
applause.
are people. Yeah. Um, but all of that to say, I feel like I would do anything for her or her students. And she has actually commissioned me several times, multiple times to teach
Awesome.
or to write things for them. And so I very much feel at home here. As a matter of fact, I threaten all the time. One of these times I come over to Virginia, I'm not coming
Never
back
going
to Texas
back.
ever again. I have my computer, so but
well, I would miss you if you moved.
Yeah. No, all of us. I feel like all of us would.
I know it's.
But I'd be
We'll
happy
see.
for you too.
It's but what we're about to watch. So I do a lot for the band. I'm mostly hired in a marching band context to do like auditions or to teach, and I teach predominantly the percussion kiddos. Music, movement, choreography, culture. But I really work with the entire band, and so a lot of the kids sort of know me. If they haven't seen me in front of them, they at least know of me. And
What a hot shot.
this I mean, I try. I think it's good, and people know me for like, he's the weird guy who dances, or he's the drum guy. It's a lot of different hats I wear even here. But this video is a percussion ensemble that I wrote for them. I've written this is the second one I've written, but the way that it's working is they've been doing sort of hybrid, but a good portion of the students have elected to take class virtually, which I heavily appreciate, because Texas is just like, yeehaw, open that shit back up, fuck the kids. It really makes me weep. I have actually cried when I wake up and think like, my teacher friends are going to school when they know it's not safe. The kids know it's not safe. The parents know it's not safe.
Texas.
And they're still being forced to go.
Yeah.
So they've been doing it, in my opinion, they've been doing it right and playing it pretty safe, because the kids that are there are wearing masks, they're doing social distancing, they're having their temperature checked. Virginia appears to believe that there is a global pandemic happening. So
Like
that presents.
We live in Texas.
that's the only answer you need, apparently.
That's true,
We live in
because
Dallas.
No, honestly,
right.
I was just in Virginia, man, and it's you're right. Like Virginia takes it seriously, and it's really strange because everywhere else I was at, they did not take it very seriously.
Right.
Tennessee was like full on like no masks. Like any truck stop I went to, nobody had mask on. And then by the time I got to Texas, I was like, okay, I'm relieved because we're in Texas. I know we have to have masks on in the businesses, and I get in, and nope, no one has a mask on still. And I was like,
not one.
not one. And so I just kind of have to remember that some people are moving on faster than others, and
Yeah.
But are we ready to move on? Is the real question. I don't know. I don't know if we are just yet.
It's going to be interesting what happens in 6 months.
Put on some
Well,
pants.
my thing is, like, I understand that people have this sort of farcical idea that, we have to open the economy back up because otherwise,
Yeah.
There is no opening the economy back up. That's not a thing. People are still trying to spend money.
Yeah,
But
regardless.
the thing is,
it moves away from middle class into large conglomerates who have large online distribution centers. Yeah.
Sure, I understand that, and I don't want to get off too much on a tangent on business.
Oh no,
but-
I completely agree with you
but-
though. Like,
yeah,
if your people dead, they can't spend money.
that seems so basic to me. But what they're telling us, like, because the people in Texas are taking this one thing that the CDC said, and then they're just exploding. They're saying, okay, if you're vaccinated and all the people that are near you are vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask to most places. Problems with that being, they're also saying, yeah, about 50% of the country has had one dose. That's not enough people.
No.
I don't care where you are, and they started out saying, okay, well, it's going to have to be 75 to 80% before it's going to be really safe.
Yeah.
No
Get that herd
state is
immunity.
anywhere near those numbers. Definitely the country is not. In my county and the adjacent counties, I think we're at like a 40% vaccination rate.
Yeah, we're at 40.
The reason
I
I
will
was
say-
even eligible
Yeah.
because people were not getting any of the
Mhm.
vaccines that were allotted to the county. So they started to literally give them away.
Yep. But I will say, to their credit, it has rolled out way faster than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a lot slower than it was.
Yeah.
I will say I am overall encouraged and impressed at the rate at which it's happening compared to what my expectations were.
Yeah.
Especially if you look at other countries who are doing some of the same, like Canada's having a real tough time.
They're
I don't really
they
know
haven't-
the whole impact as to why,
Yeah,
but
I mean, and I think it's some of it is just the distribution.
Yeah.
Like we are distributing pretty hard, and we've made it like an emergency thing to do, but it's other countries don't have that.
yeah.
You know.
The fact that I could pull up to a parking spot that's supposed to service an airport and get in and out with a vaccine in 10 minutes blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah.
Well, and that's awesome if people do it.
Yeah. If they do
We're
it, that's the
rolling it
thing.
out. The distribution is basically smoothed out, but people just aren't getting it anymore. And that is what's the most disappointing. All of that to say.
Yeah.
The whole tangent was about the students here doing virtual learning, and
Yeah.
so they needed a sort of modular idea, and so there were some kids still meeting in class, and I've actually personally witnessed that class. It is done correctly, social distancing, masks, cleaning. It's wonderful, but there were some folks that were doing it in person, some folks that were doing it online. So the idea was something for a practice pad, something that everyone actually personally owns to be in the program, sticks and a stand. It's written for those specific, like those are all instruments in it. And so we recorded it. I did a couple of weeks worth of like master classes or seminars with the percussion class. And then they submitted recordings, and then the director put everything together. So what you're about to see is that video. It's actually
Okay.
up on YouTube. The entire concert is, and I wrote a little synthy backing track to it so that it wasn't just like practice pad sounds. Because for a virtual recording, the things that were written in there to be charming about the ensemble are kind of lost if it's not being recorded on like a super high-end microphone. Which
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't own, and none of the students probably own. So
Shit's expensive.
yeah, and I was just like, okay, it's practice pads. I'll write a backing track, and I was so pleased with how it came out. And you'll see the video compilation that the director put together.
All right. So thanks for sticking through our coronavirus mask tangent. Nothing, no fault of your own, John. We were all on it together. But here we go. This is what John was talking about.
Our percussion ensemble is lucky enough to have a percussion instructor who's also a very talented composer. John Paddie was commissioned by us once again to compose a piece arranged for percussion pad ensemble for our spring concert. He plays around with all of the sounds that can be performed on the percussion pad and surrounding surfaces, producing unique sounds from each ensemble member. This was recorded and prepared by percussionists across the band program. Please enjoy.
Wow, that's cool to see, John. That was
I had very little to do with that performance. So all credit goes to Brandon and Kiddos.
And
kudos, kids.
Did you say again the ages?
These are high school.
These are high schoolers?
Okay.
9 through 12.
That's cool, though.
So we are in closing on the 2-hour mark. Thank you so much for you both being here. I'm going to be a little mindful of your time. We're going to sign off here, go through the kind of the closing process. If there's anything that you guys we're going to go through the closing process. If there's anything that you guys want to pitch, you guys want people to know that's upcoming about your own stuff, please feel free to do so now. And I'm also going to remind everybody who's been hanging out with us to check out our fundraiser for Spruce Smiles. The GoFundMe link is in the chat. We really appreciate you hanging out with us, participating in the chat. So to close us off, do you guys have anything that you guys want to pitch, talk about? John, maybe your Twitch stream?
Okay,
good. So my thing right now, before marching band season gets in full steam, I am streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday when I'm home. Probably not going to stream when I'm in Virginia, but I do have. So I play games on my stream on my Ornith Gaming is the name of the Twitch channel, and we also pretty much run everything out of our Discord server. So
okay,
even if you're not interested in playing a stream, if you want to play games with someone like a nice like fun community who's like really supportive and pretty active, you can join the Consonance Discord.
I'm actually in that. You added me to that a while back. I've muted a lot of the channels as of recent. Just I haven't really jumped in, but I have utilized the connection to try and play Sea of Thieves once. Good. So that was fun.
You can, yeah. So we've got. I play World of Warcraft is probably the most popular. We've got Sea of Thieves. We've got Elder Scrolls Online, Borderlands 3. And if there's another game that you play and want to play it with people, you can hop into the general and say like, "Hey, does anybody play this game?" And probably somebody else does, and probably somebody else would want to play with you. So that's the biggest thing that I'm working on right now, mostly because the stuff I'm personally involved in involves students, and I can't really like hype or sell that.
Yeah.
But
if anybody needs John for anything, contract him for music work.
Say it again.
I'm always taking commissions for composition. Hold on, let me.
Want another one?
If you want, and another one, I can put my Discord link in the chat if that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Some folks.
Sure.
If you send it to me on Telegram, I can post it into all of the restream channels all at once. Or you know what? I'll just copy paste.
Oh, that works too.
That's not what I meant to do. Jeez.
That sounded like Spruce Miles just got a new sub.
That'd be great.
Thanks for the bits. Thanks for the bits, y'all.
Yeah. Mark, do you have anything that you want to pitch, talk about? A show that you're super proud or excited about coming up, or?
Yeah, no, because I mean, we're kind of starting to get back into the swing of things back here in Houston and kind of all over the states with different concerts and festivals. So I'm really happy about that. I mean, we've got Lollapalooza coming up. We've got ACL, Bonnaroo, like all these other big ones. I mean, there's really nothing for me to plug anymore.
Yeah.
What I want to plug is really like you guys. Like, your fundraiser is important to a lot of people, and it's really good money that would help a program that would be really great. So if you guys are watching, please, put a few bucks in there if you can, whatever you got. I mean, it's important to me. I think this is something that needs to keep going, and we need to talk about more.
For sure. That's the point of the project. And we really hope it gains a little bit of steam. So if you guys are still with us and still watching, share Spruce Smiles with everybody, the whole world. Let them know about our. You can find us at www.sprucesmiles.com. We have a GoFundMe up. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. Interact with us there. If you want to know more about us, ask us. But we are here to raise mental health awareness through our music and raise funds for charity. And in May, we're raising funds for the National Alliance on Mental Illness in the greater Houston area. And they're doing some great stuff with those funds, and we really want to support them. This has kind of become a little bit of a passion project for me and Brad. Wasn't designed to be this way. It's just kind of the way that it came out, and we're super excited for it. So I guess we'll sign off with that. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for being here, and go check out Spruce Smiles. We got a single out on Spotify, and share us and our fundraiser with everybody you know. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for being here. We will see you later.